I decided, I'm going to start racing drag boats like my dad. And so I was 19 years old and I started racing. And by the age of 21, I was already a champion and set multiple world records and all kinds of stuff.
Welcome back to Christina's Garage, Gearhead in Training. Today I am in Bakersfield at Lake Ming for the National Jet Boat Association. They're doing races. I have never seen drag boat racing before, and I only recently learned that it was a thing. Today I'm just gonna share my first time experience with you guys, walk around. I've never been here before, so I'm gonna get my bearings, meet people, and get an idea of what it's all about. First impressions, it wasn't that difficult to find Lake Ming. The parking was free and it was super easy. I did get here about 9. They said they were gonna start at 8. And I don't know if maybe later on, if people came later in the day, that it might be more difficult to park. I was honestly expecting the lake to be a little bit bigger, or it to be like specifically, you can tell it's a track because they got like floating buoys and it looks like they took over the whole lake. I don't know what I was expecting. This is definitely different than what I thought it would be. I think it's really cool. And I'm at the starting line area right now. We have all these trucks behind me that have all their boats. The people are in their safety gear and they have several up at the starting line, and it looks like only 1 to 2 will go at one time. And yeah, that's all I know at this point. I'm following all of like the line of trucks with boats. I'm following it down so we can watch them put their boats in the water and see them get set up at the start line. And also, it is freaking loud. I probably should have brought my earplugs. Before I came, I actually had a set of earplugs in my bag and I threw those away. Very smart of me to do, because some of these boats are so loud, I feel my whole face vibrating and it's like deep in my ear. The 2 gentlemen that are helping them put the boat in the water are actually volunteers. They had some donation boxes or buckets right on the side. Otherwise, they just volunteer to help people put their boats into the water. And at the end of the course, there are other people that will help put the boats back onto the trailers to remove them from the water. I thought that was pretty neat. I found Jamie Lee right outside of the starting line, and I had some questions. So you drag boat race?
I do. I drive a blown alcohol hydro and TE.
So what does that mean, blown alcohol?
It's a blown motor that runs off of an alcohol instead of like gas or race fuel. It's an alcohol. It's a step down from nitro.
Interesting.
Yes.
So is that because it goes so fast? And
it does, and it's just way easier to run. It's easier to tune. It's just, it runs cold, so
that's
it's
crazy.
good in the desert, yeah.
So a couple of the questions that I had watching them at the starting line. So I see this big green rope.
Yes.
So it looks like that they have the jet skis that bring them over to get them in a starting position. And does the rope just keep them in line, or what?
Yes, that's our starting line. That's where we start. We sit there, we work our way until we get to the center, close to the barge. They ask us if we're ready, we fire, we watch our light. It's go time.
That's so cool. And are you racing today?
No.
Oh, so you just come to watch?
I'm just an observer, yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you so much.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
Oh shoot, this one looks like it's on fire. Listen, it was just lighting up. Did you see that? That's crazy. Oh, he's putting something into it. And it looks like he's going to be next. Oh, so he just let go of the rope. Okay, so I see that rope. I'm going to follow it, and then it's connected to the boat in the that pontoon boat. I think that's what it is in the center. Oh, and it looks like, because it was raised a little bit before in the center, if you see that rope that's going down the middle, when they go, I think they lift that up to let them pass through. So they did raise it right before they go. I just met Dan, and I was wondering what are they wearing for safety equipment?
They have a lifeline jacket, head restraint, bell helmet that's connected to the head restraint. They have ballistic pants, fireproof pants and jacket, safety switch, kill switch on the driver, and it also deploys the parachute.
And they probably roast, because it's kind of hot today. So
Yeah, absolutely.
So it seems like a lot of them are also using umbrellas to keep them cool.
Exactly. That's why we always bring an umbrella.
Do you guys like plan ahead in terms of water intake and like hydration and stuff like that?
Absolutely. Always have water on hand.
Because I would be sweating like crazy in that thing.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're
welcome. These guys have the perfect setup. Is it because of all this, the grass and wheat, or the, I don't know what you call it, the plants, vegetation? It makes it kind of hard to see. You've already probably seen in some of the videos that, you know, it's blocked by the vegetation. So this is actually a really good idea. This is Mark, and I was told that this is your perch. I was wondering how long is the course, like the distance?
The 1,000-foot finish line is the orange buoys.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the finish line.
So they have a lot of extra space at the end because they're going so
They
fast
need the
to slow.
shutdown area, yeah, so they don't hit the beach at the end.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
I'm here with Kevin and Danny.
Yes.
And so I had some questions about like everything that you guys have out on the water.
Sure.
One of the other gentlemen that I was talking to said that you guys have safety boats and stuff
Yes.
like that. Would you mind explaining like how you have
The
it all
safety
set up?
boats are out there just in case we have an incident, and they'll go in on them and retrieve them and get them back to the ambulance. And like a boat like this, it has a safety capsule, and the driver, Danny Stone's in it. He's got oxygen, and it's got roll cage in it. It's 100% safer, our sport. And Danny is a great driver. It's a beautiful boat, and he feels really safe in this. And our organization, we have the best safety team out there for these guys.
Because I was seeing that I asked some people about the other safety gear, because I see some of the boats are open and they
Yes.
have the helmets and everything. Do you
Yes,
wear
yeah.
all the same safety gear when you're
No,
in
they're
this?
totally different.
Well, it's
Yeah.
same but different.
Yes.
So they wear what's called a lifeline jacket flotation device. We have flotation devices in our capsule. So we wear a driver's suit. We wear a Hans neck device. Same type of helmet they use, except ours are sealed because we have air going into ours.
Wow.
Yeah,
And I
so-
heard that these ones are much louder than the other ones
Oh,
too.
yes. If he's underwater, he's got, like he said, he's got air given to him, and he's got a bottle in there, so he's really air contained in there.
Wow. Thank you guys so much. This is Joe. He was just giving me some tips or information about, like, so there was the safety barge buoy. What do you?
The Rescue 1, and then around the corner is Rescue 2.
And what do all of the different balloons, like the
So the
flotation?
different buoys, the blue buoys are 660 feet, the orange buoys are 900 feet, and then the finished 1,000 foot are the orange and red buoys at the very end.
Okay. And you mentioned that they have the starting light and different sensors all the way down the track
Correct.
as well.
We have sensors in the middle, and then sensors on each side, and they all line up together. So when they go through the 660, they'll get a time, 900 they'll get a time, and 1,000 foot they'll get a time.
Do these things stay out in the water all season, or do you guys
No.
take them out?
We pull the wire back in.
Okay. And do you guys keep them stored?
Yeah, we store them underneath the tower here. This is our timing tower. And we've got computers upstairs with our timing system, and then this wire goes out to the start tree, and it ties in underneath here, and that's where they get the times up here. And you can also download our app for your time slip, so you can see the different times.
Okay.
You can pull up any racer on our time slip app.
That's so, and you guys have a lot of racers, it seems like.
This race we have 87 boats.
Wow, that's so cool. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Note for next time, make sure to bring earplugs. Luckily, I was able to borrow a pair, and these are actually really nice. I don't know what they're called, but I'm echoing in my own head right now. It's better than my whole face vibrating. Now, I am gonna walk into where everybody's got their boats kind of set up. Looks like people have like picnic tables and everything since they're here all day, pop-ups and whatnot. And it looks like there's less vegetation down here. So I should be able to get some better views of the boats as they go by. This is Glen of Hutchison Racing Engines. I'm so grateful that you had me come out here.
Oh, yeah.
Would you mind sharing a little bit about Hutchison Racing Engines and how like that translated to you getting into boat drag racing?
Well, my father founded the company in 1972, but it started way before all that. You know, probably street racing back when he was a kid, I'm sure, right? The love of speed and engines and hot rods and the noise and, you know, same love that we have and feelings. But yeah, the company actually started in his garage in 1968. He was working at doing bread route and stuff, and so, and then he started racing race boats in '58. He had an old flat bottom. Of course, he used to go to the river and go skiing with it, and then he'd race it on the weekends. You know. That's kind of hard to do nowadays. As you can see, the boats have changed quite a bit.
They go very fast.
Yeah, the engines are getting bigger, and the more expensive stuff.
And because of his love of boats and love of engines, that it kind of translated to you?
Yeah, pretty much. And then I raced dirt bikes and stuff as a kid. And I decided, I'm going to start racing drag boats like my dad. And so I was 19 years old, and I started racing. And by the age of 21, I was already a champion and set multiple world's records and all kinds of stuff. So that was pretty good times. And the family, we'd go with the motorhome and we'd tour the country. It was nice.
So now you have a ton of boats here that have
quite a few.
run your engine. How many are here today?
I believe we got 7 of them in all various classes, and from the blown gas flat to comp flat to pro comp flat to top alcohol hydro. And so we got, like I say, 7 or 8, quite a few clients here.
If somebody's interested to getting into drag boat racing and not really sure where to start in terms of engines, do you have any advice for them?
What's nice about the NJBA, National Jet Boat Association, you can run a V-drive, you can run a jet, you can run a ski boat, you can run a full-out drag boat. So you could start with a family ski boat, and they actually do have a class for that. And so, yeah, you could step up, and then eventually if you want to get into a pro class, like something like this, blown gas flat bottom, you could do that. But you could start out with a family ski boat if you like.
It's a good entry level rather than going 200 miles an hour out the gate.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Glenn. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to hopefully doing some more with you in the future.
No problem. But yeah, hey, no problem. It's good to hear from you, and hopefully you can do this again, and we'll work together some more. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you.
You bet.
Glenn just walked me through. There's a lot of information. So this is a separate class. This one goes much faster than the ones where they're open seated. He was showing me how, like, you see this line here. So this capsule will break away in emergencies, which one of the other gentlemen had mentioned before. And all the wiring from all this connects to a computer in here, and even the clutch is digital, because he said they don't want anything that goes up into the capsule because this needs to be able to break away in emergencies. So all of these wires and everything down here, he says they're set to break away so that if this does need to separate, that you're not connected by anything. He said, I think a distributor that in a normal car that I've seen is one singular round distributor. He said each one of these has a separate one that have higher voltage, and you can get a lot more specific with it. And he was telling me about the fuel and how that's pressurized with the fuel injection, and that's gonna be a little bit more difficult for me to be able to repeat back. This is an oil tank. And I was asking him, because I didn't see any of the other ones with an oil tank, he said because this goes so fast that this is pressurized, that in normal vehicles you have the oil sitting at the bottom and it just has an oil pump. This one is pressurized, so it pushes oil in and sucks it out because it needs to have the lubrication minus all of the friction that when you have oil sitting on things in there that will add. So this will add the lubrication and then pull it out so that you minimize friction as well. And this one's got 2 parachutes. Really neat. Glen said he's hit some world records in this style. And he has one of something like this now, the open seat, because he says he likes that he can sit in there and talk with people when they're at the start line. And these are a little bit more secluded because you're inside. He said that you're actually pretty cool in there too because you're shaded. I thought that being inside there would be warmer. And he said it stays pretty cool. I was told that the spark plugs, they'll pull those out, clean them, and then look at the dark lines to see how far they go down, and then that will determine how rich or lean you can go with the fuel. They're putting the feeler gauge underneath here to test the clearances, the clearance for the intake and the other one, the intake and then the other one, I keep forgetting the name of the other one. They're different. So the clearance is different for each one. And it seemed like some of these, most of the guys when they're coming in, they're doing like a similar process of doing all of this to make sure everything's okay, because they want to make sure everybody's safe when they go back on the water. I had a complete blast today. I learned a lot, met cool people, and got to see a bunch of drag boats for the very first time. If you guys want to follow my journey, if you want to join me on some of these adventures, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you, and I'll see you guys next week.